Alright, today I bring you a quick guide on missile weapon systems in Roguetech. As I mentioned in the energy and ballistic videos, I am going to make this spreadsheet available in the near future. And with that out of the way, the thing to note about missile weapons is they have the largest variety of ammo types, everything from mag pulses that scramble the target's sensors to deadfire or high explosive to significantly increase damage and stability. As of recording this, Hydra ammo seems to be bugged because it doesn't build up heat like it used to. So unless I'm missing something, Hydra ammo doesn't seem to work right now. Arrow and Thunderbolt missiles are somewhat special in that instead of having a lot of damage instances, they just fire one single large missile. So you don't get the standard missile system's rain of death, but they have some of the best range, and they do great damage and stability per shot. They are also the only missile weapons that are actually somewhat likely to crit through armor. You can see the Thunderbolt's, 200, 300, and the Arrow is at 500. Compared to most missile systems, max armor they can penetrate through being 40, 25, 30, etc. Arrow systems are also capable of flak and direct fire at a accuracy penalty, but they both ignore the target's evasion. And Arrow and Thunderbolt missiles have relatively low damage per ton because they are very heavy weapons. That being said, LRMs are, as the name would imply, long-range missiles, and they have reasonable damage per ton, but their stability damage is actually low compared to other missile systems. So the LRM-20, for example, fires 20 missiles, but only does 1 stability or less per missile, as compared to, for example, the where is it? There we go. As compared to an MRM-40, which also does 1 stability per missile, but it's 40 missiles instead of 20, so considerably higher stability damage. And then the heavy MRMs are just a beast on their own. So, right. So the short and medium range missiles, also as their name would imply, have a shorter range than long range missiles and are incapable of indirect fire, but are some of the best weapons in the game for knocking a target unsteady and for tearing through armor, because they have high damage, especially damage per tonnage, but they do it in a big splash, so it's less focused than pinpoint damage like a Thunderbolt or an Arrow or a lot of ballistic weapons or lasers even, but they do tear through armor very quickly, especially short-range missiles that have 10 damage per missile. So, oops, scroll down. Okay, so SRMs, for example, the SRM-6s, you can see they do 8 to 10 damage per missile, and their damage per ton is actually quite respectable because they all weigh less than 3 tons. So if you have an Omni mech and you're just loaded up with SRM-6s, you can do some very crazy damage per round. Also, SRMs tend to run out of ammo less quickly than LRMs and MRMs because they have 100 missiles per ton, but they fire 2, 4, or 6 as compared to 5 to 20 or 10 to 40. So the MRM-40 at 200 missiles per ton is able to fire 5 times per ton, whereas an SRM-6 you know, that's what 14-ish shots per ton of ammo. So just one thing to consider is missile amounts. ATMs ATMs are, as you can see, mostly clan tech. There are pirate ATMs, but they're more like multi-missile launchers instead of ATMs. And ATMs have solid damage, especially if you're using high explosive ammo, and they have high stability damage for their tonnage and just in general, as well as built-in accuracy and evasion ignore. But they do run a little bit heavier, and they do have a bit higher heat than other weapon systems. And they also tend to take up quite a few slots. And finally, we have MMLs and pirate ATMs that allow you to select different missiles, so you can have SRMs, LRMs, and with the pirate ATMs you can also use medium range missiles and switch between the different fire types based on the range you're engaging at to make most optimal use of the weapon systems. But they do have a jam chance, so that's the trade-off, is you have more versatility in selecting the exact missile you want to use at the current range you're engaging at, but you have a slight jam chance. And then streak missiles, which I believe every missile, so LRMs, MMLs, MRMs, etc., SRMs. The streak missiles give you accuracy and evasion ignore, much like the ATMs. Much like the ATMs. But streak missiles and improved ATMs, they only fire if all the missiles are going to hit. So it does a hit roll to see if you're going to hit, and if any of the missiles would miss, it just doesn't fire, which helps you conserve ammunition. And streak missile systems have built-in evasion, ignore, and accuracy, so streak ATMs, you can see, no, improved ATMs, which are streak ATMs, have 2 evasion, ignore, and +1 accuracy, as compared to the standard ATMs. Where'd they go? Ah, here they are. As compared to the standard ATMs that have the 2 accuracy and 1 evasion ignore. So, improved ATMs and streak missiles only fire if all the missiles are going to hit. So the thing that's best used for is for having less tonnage of ammo, because you're if it fires, you're guaranteed to have hits. So even though, for example, the IATM has 60 rounds per ton, since it's guaranteed to fire, the IATM 12, that is 5 hits, 5 rounds of guaranteed hits per ton of ammo, as compared to the ATM 12, which has 60 rounds per ton, but you could miss potentially every missile. So that's 5 rounds of shooting versus 5 rounds of hitting. Sometimes, streak can be a little bit less than ideal, especially if you're firing at something you have a low hit chance against, but you just need, 1 hit, 2 hits to knock them unsteady. Just regular missiles are definitely better than streak missiles at that particular task. On the topic of streak missiles, where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we go. The Mark II streak missiles, they actually fire, they only fire the missiles that would hit, but they roll for each individual missile. So unlike regular streak missiles where it's either all the missiles hit or it doesn't fire, streak Mark IIs, if 3 of the 6 missiles would hit, it fires those 3, but it saves the ammo for the other 3. Now, obviously, the Streak Mark II as compared to the Clan Streak is heavier, but compared to a regular Streak missile launcher, it's actually lighter. So, Streak Mark IIs are just objectively better than standard Streaks. And other than that, I don't intend to go into all the different ammo types in this video, just like I didn't with the ballistic video. If you're interested in me going over all the different ammo types, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll consider making a video over ammo types in the near future. Other than that, I think that's good for a video, and until next time.